Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's Johnny V coming at you again from Tassie. Got another video for you today, and this one's another plastic model build. It was another challenge build. My buddy, the same one that challenged me to the big truck build, also set this challenge to me. He tends to like to do that. But he asked me if I could do this particular vehicle. It was of a Ford that was built back in the 30s. And I just said, well, apart from the fact that it's a Ford, if it can be done, we'll give it a go. So needless to say, I gave it a go. This is what the Ford is. The Ford house car. This one is of only 6 Ford house cars said to have been built per year in the mid-30s at the Ford plant at St. Paul in Minnesota. Now, I won't go through reading everything that's on this paperwork, but if you guys want to read it along at your leisure, I'll pan it very slowly for you and you can do it at your time. The information is actually very good about this particular car. It was found in a barn somewhere in the States, and the chap that found it didn't think much of it, but he took it to auction, and after it was all tidied up, and it was found to be quite the rare vehicle. So, yeah, to build it was going to be a challenge. And we started with the Revell, I think it's the Revell kit. I'll just have a quick look. Up there. Yep, I think it was the Revell kit of the 36-37 Ford pickup truck. And that was the basis of the model. What I've actually built looks nothing like it. So we'll get you to that. And these are some photos that I used for reference of the real car. As you can see, the nose of the truck on the front there, built obviously on the same chassis platform, and just a square box as the camper. But that little square box holds a lot of little treasures. So I'll show you that when we do the model. And the little opening rear vent window on the back, that's also modelled in. And as this is saying, a look into the interior. As you can see, the date on the bottom of this paperwork is when I first did this one. There was a lot of modelling going back on in 2012, and hence why all this stuff is now only coming to light. Alright, we've got some photos of the interior coming up as well, plus all that information there if you want to read it slowly, or freeze the frames. It's some neat stuff in there. I mean, to be all original stuff in it, and it's just been sitting in this this barn, it would have been quite the find. I mean, we get a lot of pleasure out of finding old Matchbox cars and dinkies and things, but geez, to come across something like this in for real would be quite the amazing thing to do. I mean, all the paintings and pictures on the walls of family photos, you know, all that stuff, it's just amazing. And yeah, note the cedar branch hanging in the corners to give the cabin a natural wood feel. Lovely. I mean, even little fancy pillows to make it look pretty. And that little table that you can see on the corner there, that folds down, it's got a little kick-out leg. That's also modelled into the model. And a very simple interior for a camper, but then back in the 30s, I suppose they didn't need a great deal. Just somewhere to get you there and somewhere to sleep when you're there. But really nice little old truck this was. And the final notes on it. No computerization to be concerned about, eh? True that. And finally, a large picture of the truck as it was once it was tidied up and prepped for auction. Where it is in the States at the moment is beyond me, but I'm assuming somebody in the Ford Museum or something like that would probably be the proud owner of this at the moment. And yeah, so from this point I will show you a little bit of information at the bottom here if you want to do the checkout on it, and then I'll bring up the real model. So that's the information you can do the checkout from, if that information is still current online. Alright guys, I'll bring the model out and show you that. Alright, there she is. 1/25th scale, 36-37 Ford house car. I'll do a little spinny spin, and you can just have a bit of a look at it from here, and then I'll go into some of the details on the build. A lot of opening and closing features on this car. Yeah, right down to the old number plate that was on the photos as well. Alright, I'll start the premise of what this vehicle started as. The kit itself, and the only parts of the kit that are left are the nose from the windscreen basically to there, all that down to there. The running board finishes back here. All the chassis original to the kit, but anything from there back, including the doors, and even the interior has been modified, like the seats and such are different, but that's all the original part of the kit. But from the cabin window backwards, that's all my handiwork. Alright, I'll pause for a sec and just show you some of the opening features. Alrighty, back again. She's got the front door open now, and you can have a look in the front door to the driver's seat. Once to take the lid off, you'll be able to look in there a lot clearer. But there's the pop top. It does pop up, and the back window opens as it does on the real one. And the pop top, I was going to create a kind of a scissor lift for it, but I just couldn't get the geometry of it to work correctly. So what I've done, it's I have an acrylic rod, clear acrylic rod inside the main cabin region, and I'll show you that shortly. That when it's in view, I mean, even looking through the windows, you can just minutely see it, but it doesn't obscure the view of the interior in any way when you're displaying it. Alright, I shall lift off the lid and give you some better looks at that. Alright, that's the inside of the cabin lid. It's got simulated wood grain with 1930s varnish on it. A simulated vent in the roof, a little dome light, and you can see that the canvas itself does move in and out, and when it's sitting standard on the top of the truck, it just folds in and locks down. So turn that over, and there you can see there it is flat on the top, and then it does lifts up, and then you've got the canvas pop top. Right, and this is the rod that I use. I made a little platform, made it just clear rod, and that just sits inside that little slot there, and that holds the roof up when it's on display. Alright, get that out of the way. Right, we'll move over to the the interior of the car. And as you can see, there's a the cooktop stove that doesn't lift up. I hadn't thought that far ahead when I put that box in there, but it's got two doors, a little drawer system there, so it's just preparation. Little shelf there. We do have real cloth curtains. There's the little bit of cedar hanging in there to create the aroma that they talk about. There's the bed all propped up, the window open in the back there to let the fresh air in at night, or the bad air out, whichever way you want to go about it. And then we have some photos on the walls, which were approximate to what he had in the real vehicle. And the little side table there, which does collapse like it does in the real car. If you gently fold that leg up, then you can press the table down, and then you've got access into the vehicle, into that the sleeping area and entertaining area. And the back seats, or the back of the seats, are there. They're painted with a mottled finish to create that style of vinyl that would have been around back in the day. It's a very rudimentary dash, literally just a speedo and a fuel and oil pressure thing, and that's about it, I reckon. There was no carpet in the vehicle, there was no rubber matting or anything. The door cards themselves are just, I can get that open from this side. It was just flat with a window crank on it. And that's about it in this thing. It's a very basic little camper, but back in its day, would have been a great little thing to own. This particular roof section here, I'll show you the shape of it there. I carved, I should say, a buck out of wood, and then gave it to a friend of mine who does fiberglass casting, and he cast the roof in that shape for me so I could actually fit it a lot better. I don't know if there's much underneath it worth looking at, but there we have it. I'll show you the motor too in a second. So it's straightforward, but you can see where the body ends and where the black stuff is. That's all handmade into there, and you include the fuel tank into the chassis, so it all kind of works. Alright, we'll take the engine cover off there. You can have a look at the motor there. We've got a nice flathead 8, plug wired up, and it's detailed to look like it's actually going to do something. All right, I'll put everything all back together and have one last spin around. So there she is, all packed up, ready to head home again. I'll go around very slowly again and just shut that back window. And there you are. So guys, I hope you like this little exposition of modelling. It's just something else that we can do with our lives. As I was saying earlier to friends, that why do we do it? Because we can. Why can we do it? Because we choose to. Why do we choose to do it? Because it keeps us going. And in the way things are going in this world at the moment, everybody in this world is struggling. They have their own issues. Their lives are difficult. Some are pleasant, good for them. But a lot of folk are coping hard. So to do a hobby that can create pleasure, create freedom, and expression of creativity, I think everybody should have a go at this at some time. Alright guys, that's me getting off my soapbox now. But I'd love to say thank you very much for all my subscribers, all the ones in the past and that are still with me, and those that are hoping to come along by watching videos. I thank you all. Now please remember to like, share and subscribe these videos, and I look forward to doing another presentation, if not a build or something else in the future. This is Johnny V saying bye now.